Should I use this microphone or this one? Dobre odpoledne, vážený pane Drulaku, vážený hoste. I'll be my own translator today. Mr. Drulak, honored guests, good afternoon. Je to pro mě ctí a potěšením, že tu dnes před vámi stojím, abych vám představil svoji vizi dalšího rozvoje americko-českých vztahů. I am honored and pleased to stand before you this afternoon, or to sit before you, as the case may be, to lay out my vision for taking U.S.-Czech relations to new heights. I arrived here 4 weeks ago as the new U.S. ambassador and as an individual with strong roots in this region with a set of goals. As you may have noticed, I had a lot of time to develop those goals in Washington, D.C. before my arrival. They have now been fleshed out through my conversations with government officials, the private sector, NGOs, journalists, and ordinary Czech citizens. I intend to continue to listen to a wide variety of Czechs from all walks of life about taking the friendship between our two nations to a new level. For example, some of you may know that I have started a blog. I invite all Czechs and everyone here, including my distinguished colleagues from the diplomatic corps, who also have been a good source of advice and counsel for me, to visit the blog, to read my thoughts, and most of all, to send me your suggestions, comments, and yes, your criticisms. When I was recently in Washington, President Obama told me that he had read my blog. So who knows, your views may go further than you think. Let me begin today with the famous adage of the great British Foreign Secretary, Lord Palmerston, who said that nations have no permanent friends, only permanent interests. In the case of the United States and the Czech Republic, I beg to differ. I believe our two countries do share a permanent friendship. The roots of that friendship lie in our shared history. The United States played an integral role in the creation of the then Czechoslovak Republic when President Wilson and President Masaryk worked together to turn the dream of an independent free nation into reality. That friendship between the two countries survived World War II and Nazi occupation, an occupation the United States helped end. It survived the Cold War and communist domination, a domination the United States helped fight. It flowered after the Sametova Revoluce and, in my view, is poised to renew itself amid the challenges of the 21st century. Evident in that complex history is the core of the friendship between our two nations, our shared values, above all, our common commitment to the promotion of human freedom. That commitment runs through our shared past and into our future. It creates a joint moral mission as we work together to improve the lives of those who live in our two nations and to lift up the world. That mission is, I believe, unshakable. It is part of our respective national characters. It is our destiny. If, as a person with roots in both of these great nations, I have any faith, it is in that proposition. That being said, the U.S.-Czech friendship is like any other. It's like a marriage. It requires work every day. It has ups and downs. It needs constant renewal. Relations are already quite good, but that is not enough. I want them to be great. I want them to break new ground on the path that was started so many years ago by those two great friends, Masaryk and Wilson. In my view, the U.S.-Czech friendship rests on three fundamental pillars, and when we talk about going from good to great, it is in these three areas that we are speaking. First, security and defense cooperation. Second, economic and commercial activity. And third, and above all, the promotion of our shared democratic values. Let me start with security and defense cooperation, since if there is one lesson that history has taught our two nations, it is that we must always be ready to stand together to defend our freedom against those who threaten it. My own family's experience of the 20th century, first surviving Nazism and then fleeing communism, is a constant reminder to me of this principle. For both of us, both of our two nations, NATO remains the cornerstone of European security, and Article 5 remains the cornerstone of NATO. The Lisbon Summit gave new conceptual vitality to Article 5, and now it's time to put that into action. Article 5 was designed, as you know, to guarantee protection of the Allies' territory from outside attack. That guarantee continues, but the 21st century has brought new threats, new forms of outside peril that threaten our security as surely as tanks threatened it in the 20th century. To respond to those threats, my goal is to work with all of my colleagues in the Czech Republic to support and develop significant joint projects building on the special and in some cases the unique strategic and defense strengths of your nation. We should work together to support and extend those capacities, thereby deepening our bilateral relations and building multilateral capacity within NATO. It is a kind of joint governmental entrepreneurship that should take place within the multilateral context. We should develop multiple strands of strategic and military cooperation so that if any one strand is disrupted for any reason, the rope still remains strong. One 21st century threat to which we must together respond is transnational terrorism. We in the U.S. learned on 9/11, to our great pain, that every nation is at risk of terror, no matter how safe things may seem. In Afghanistan, our two countries are part of a multilateral coalition working to stanch transnational terrorism at one of its main sources. Because Afghanistan was a base for the 9/11 attacks, the international community must prevent that country from again becoming a source of al-Qaeda threat. The Afghan people certainly appreciate the Czechs' resolute presence in that land, and so too does the broader international community, which has come to realize that inaction will not make the problem of extremism go away. You recently increased your commitment in Afghanistan to coincide with a crucial phase of ISAF operations. Czechs in Afghanistan are working not only to fight terrorism, but to sow the seeds of peace by building hospitals, promoting agriculture, and educating ordinary Afghans. They thank you, your international partners thank you, the United States thanks you, and I thank you.